Hi, blessings, everyone. It's getting a bit chilly in Edinburgh. It's the 8th of November. Let's check. Yeah, Monday. Um, I wanted to speak about the crystalline body and um, and what's happening in terms of the energies that we're experiencing. Um, so this is November 2021, and um, I've been looking at some of my videos from about 3 or 4 years ago, and probably longer actually, but the message in the videos is very much what's happening now on the earth. And I don't really have any connection with time, which is something that I've said a number of times in my videos. First of all, the crystalline body is with the crystalline body, there's a feeling of how everything is literally shifting, and it's constant. It doesn't rest. So there's a deep awareness that there's lots of energy clearing. Also, the body is changing in terms of frequency and matter. So the bones and the organs in the body, anything that's matter, and our connection inside with our deep awareness that's growing on the planet. And organically, we're breathing in a very different frequency, and it's a very different air that's being breathed. This prana, this energy and life force that comes directly from Gaia. So that's increasing. So in terms of anything that might be shared, I'm choosing my words very carefully as usual, but anything that's been shared through the internet to do with pollution, they call it, then as we grow from inside and organically change, then we don't really have any connection with that on the outside. Whatever's going on in the outer world, and that's written about and that you might be reading or listening to on a video like this, for example, then you'll find that it's really not relevant to your own experience, because the body is really being blessed, and it's taking over the whole life experience through the crystalline makeup. So we're breathing in a very pure source of energy and a very pure source of air that's happening. Excuse me, my shawl keeps... Everything is sliding off me today. It's very weird. It's about 1:45 in the afternoon and it feels like it's 9 a.m. in the morning. Anyway, to continue, the air that we call air, the breath, is actually deepening through our connection internally. So our inner source of being is expanding, and it connects in with the prana and this very deep unity that we have on an individual level with Mother Earth. And I've spoken about this in previous videos, and I also spoke about the sexual energy because it's all interconnected. What we're breathing through a crystalline form is another source of light, and it's very deep cellular light that is organically moving through the cells in the body, through the bones, through the teeth, through our makeup. The breath is deepening. So the air that we breathe, if you want to call it air, is actually coming from another source. It is coming from a very deep connection with the crystalline light. And this air, this prana that we're breathing in, we can feel it through every breath. And it's restoring our body and bringing it into alignment with the source of who we are in our natural state of being. There's also a deep sensitivity because we're human, and so we know ourselves as a human form, and we're actually becoming we're becoming more of our natural state through the crystalline form. But what we would have said was human, it no longer exists. And even saying that is powerful. There is no time. Everything is neutral. So it doesn't matter what's going on around us. There are teachings that say that if we work on our balancing our energy and our inner light, our inner realization of who we are, that the external world will come into alignment with that. But this is different, because the more crystalline we become, then we're actually creating our own world around us. And therefore anything that we experience in the world will naturally either fall away or come into alignment with who you are. There's no work to be done. And also, we're living in our own reality. As a multidimensional soul, we become more and more used to travelling. We're travelling through the dimensions, and we will experience it throughout our day, regardless of what we're doing. The focus that we would have as a human, that would take our energy and focus it into our day, our work, whatever we're doing throughout the day, that's dissolving. So everything is becoming deeper, and there is a deep awareness that we're experiencing this through the breath and through each infinite moment. There's a sense of it's very I can't really find a word for this or find words for it, but it's a deep awareness that happens where even the words are not really viable. They don't necessarily say anything. It's interesting. I was always someone who was very connected with literature and something I could hold in my hand that I would read, and it's always been there. And so a book to me would be an amazing gift that had been given. As we move through these frequencies, literature and a book, for example, here's a book here that I have read and I dip into. It's the Celestine Vision, if you can see it. I've had this book since it was gifted to me by a client around about 2000. But I started reading James Redfield's books probably around early 1990s. The message in his book is very much consistent with what's happening now. And there's a feeling when I pick up a book and open it that there's nothing that is, I was going to use the word real, it doesn't really have any foundation for me. I can read a page and it's gone as quickly as I'm reading it. The words are literally dissolving. And it's been like that since 1995, since I had my awakening. And I was being told to write, and I was writing like this. There's nothing there. It was just pure energy that was coming through. And I still write like that. So writing for me is a channel, you might call it, or it's a place of very deep communication. It doesn't come from me, it comes from a much more aligned place and a higher place. That it's like the breath, it's coming through my fingertips and it's coming through in words. So, as technology is advancing, and our inner technology, of course, is a part of that, because we're changing as beings, we're becoming much more, some people might use the word galactic. It's very much based with the cosmos and the planetary grid, I feel, where our technology is literally taking over, our own personal technology. And so anything that we perceive through the screen here is seen through a hologram. And I'm perceived as matter, as a physical being. The words that I express contain light. So the message that comes through is received by the person as a place of light. And therefore it doesn't matter. It's like living in a very deep meditation where everything is literally pure source consciousness. And we become the light that we are. The crystalline form is also crystallizing the physical form. So if you can feel this and you're getting the message with clarity, then you will understand that the rising energy and the rising awareness, or the raising of awareness that we're experiencing, is not necessarily earthbound. It's much lighter than that. There is no density because there's no matter. We're living through a very deep crystalline form. Therefore, the body is constantly upgrading itself. Spirit becomes light, and the wisdom that we hold in our natural state of being, and that is consistent with our mastery, will also be connected with the masters of light, and all becomes one. So there's a continual process happening that is lightening up. Our language and our words become light. It's very interesting talking about it. Because it's this connection with what they call death which is in the human form is a physical death, but we're actually living through the crystalline form with this freedom, which understands and very deeply what death is for a human form, but is not necessarily able to. It doesn't die. There's no death there. It's a continual flow of energy. Where we become lighter and brighter, and we become the star in the stargate, and we walk the earth with a vibration of purity and pure source consciousness. There's no duality. It is continually harmonizing what is happening in this moment, and this frequency that we're living in. It's very beautiful. In order for the physical body to fully embrace and accept the crystalline body, we experience a purifying process where we're able to decipher energy in any form as a very deeply feeling state of consciousness. So anything that is anything other than that we experience will literally dissolve and can disappear in the moment. So I'm sharing this message today because this is the way that humanity is moving towards, and the progression that we make using a device as this as a bridge between the worlds that we experience, the multidimensional. We're able to fully experience this awareness, and also this beauty that comes through. And being who we truly are. Experiencing life. So the words that I speak will literally be experienced as energy. And as the energy dissolves, then everything else that's connected with the words will also release, dissolve is a better word for it. So I can be having this conversation with you, the person that's listening to this. I'm not able to see you, not physically see you, but through my energy, then we're experiencing this togetherness, this oneness. And so it doesn't really matter about time, because it will be shared and received when it is needed. And that's what I'm experiencing with my YouTube channel, which has been on the go for a few years. I've got some really interesting videos that go back a few years, and they are very relevant now in this present shift that we're experiencing in consciousness. It's fascinating. So I'm just sending a blessing through this morning. Also, there's a great deal of love coming through to share. And there's also a sense of how we unite through our frequency, and how we are blessed to connect in this infinite space that's being created for this purpose. So I'm going to leave you with that, and I'll speak to you soon. Namaste.